What's up, everyone? I'm James Young with JamesYoungPhotography.com, and I'm bringing you episode number 15 of Teach Me How to Lightroom. Today, we're taking a look at this smoke grenade portrait here, kind of like a bridal type theme here with the flower crown going, the white skirt flowing in the air, just like a very angelic type theme. This is the image we start with, and here's where we're going. We're bringing out all kinds of detail. We're going super vibrant with the edit, and I'm super excited. Don't forget, there's a link in the description that will allow you to download this raw file so you can follow along with this edit. And if you like the edit and you like what we do here, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you're new, it would be super awesome if you subscribed. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the edit. Right off the bat, what we're gonna do is go straight to the tone curve, and where it says point curve linear, I'm gonna click the drop down menu and select medium contrast. And that really just gets us started here. As we make our way back up to the basic panel, I'm gonna leave the total exposure exactly where we got it in camera. Totally happy with that. With the contrast, we're gonna give it another slight boost, about 15. And with our highlights, we're gonna bring these down quite a bit, somewhere around -65 or so. And I'm happy with about 64.59, there we go. About 69 on the highlights. For the shadows, I do wanna open these up. There's a lot of detail missing out in the flower crown here and in her hair. So let's open that up. Let's go around 50 or so, 55. There we go, awesome. All that detail is back. With the whites, we're gonna go up just a little bit. I'm using my highlight alerts, making sure I don't clip anything important, and we're not. +12 is fine. You can see there's a little bit of clipping in the absolute brightest portion of the sky. That's okay with me. And then with our blacks, we're gonna come down about -20, 25 or so. About -25 is good. Outstanding. So for presence, we're gonna start with the clarity. We're actually gonna go down about -20. And the reason why we're going down on that is because clarity controls the contrast in the midtones. And what it ends up affecting is things like edges. And since this is a portrait of a human being, specifically a female, you're usually a lot better off bringing down the clarity on the entirety of the image and then bringing it back in the areas that you want to, just so we can preserve and keep the skin looking real soft. And at the same time, you definitely don't want to be the person that brings it all the way down and like things start looking all crazy and ridiculous. But about -20 will work just fine. With the vibrance, we're going pretty high on this one. We're gonna do about +30 or so, +35. And that looks awesome, bringing out all the richness in these colors. Now let's scroll down some. We're gonna get to the HSL. And within this panel of color adjustments, we're gonna start correcting some of our colors. We're gonna start with the orange and bring that down just a touch. Not much, only about -10. And that's really just to cut the saturation on her skin and reduce just the overall intensity of the skin tone. And again, you don't wanna be the person that cranks it all the way down and turns them into some sort of corpse or something. You definitely don't want to do that. Just about -10 is fine. And then with the yellows, we'll do about -5. Now where we really want to hone in here is on the colder tones. So with the aqua, we're gonna come down on this about -60. And with the blues, we're gonna come down about 65, 70. There we go. Our purples, about 60 or so. And the magentas, only about 40 or so. There we go. Perfect. And you see here, we created a little bit of a curve. The reason why we do that is we don't want to have any intense clipping amongst the changes. Now check this out. It probably seemed real subtle when we were doing it one by one. And you can see here how a series of subtle choices really results in a monumental change. The big thing I wanted to correct for here was specifically in her white skirt here. It was picking up a lot of colder tones and making it a lot less white. Now check this out. We'll turn off the adjustments we just made, and like instantaneously it just makes this thing almost look completely blue when you turn that off. Then we turn it back on. Now it looks just super bright white, which is exactly the way it looked in person, and we're just trying to get an accurate color depiction here. Now the last thing we'll do here in the HSL is we're gonna come to Luminance, and what this portion does is it affects the total exposure allowed into a specific color channel. So we're gonna go directly into the greens here. Reason being, I find the greens to be extremely vibrant in this image, and we're just gonna cut that down just a little bit, about minus 15 or so. And you can see when I turn off the HSL and turn it back on, that the grass gets way brighter when I turn it off, and it gets darker when I turn it back on. Awesome, that's exactly what I wanted it to do. So now really to make this image pop, especially because the composition here, we have our model dead center frame, we're gonna add a vignette here. So let's scroll down to effects here, and under the amount, we're only gonna do 10, so not a huge vignette, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna modify the default settings that Lightroom gives us with the vignette. It's gonna really make that minus 10 stretch a lot. So with the midpoint, we're gonna come all the way down. Then with the roundness, we're gonna go up to around 65, 70 or so. Okay, 67 is great. And we're gonna do the same thing with the feather, about 60 or so. There we go. Fantastic. Now you can see again, when I turn this off and when I turn it on, it really creates a substantial effect, even though it seemed like it was only doing a little bit of stuff here and there as we were going through. Now, as I was going through the vignette here, I noticed the dehaze, and I think I want to add a dehaze effect here just a little bit, maybe something like 10. Oh yeah, that looks awesome. I really wish Adobe would change the positioning of the dehaze tool. I think it would make a lot more sense to put it up where presence is. But that's just my opinion. Now I think the only thing that remains here as far as the color accuracy and things like that is the color temperature. I think we need a small boost of yellow here, somewhere around, oh yeah, that looks so much better. 5800 Kelvin here. And I love the way this turned out. This is a great stopping point here if you wanted to create a preset for this so that you wanted to use as a foundational piece to your edit for images in the future. If you wanted to take this to the next level, something specific for this image, you can press K or select the adjustment brush here, double click on effect, and take the brush settings and go up pretty high on the clarity, somewhere around 80 or so. Go up a little bit on the dehaze, somewhere around 25, 30, and start brushing in around this smoke area and really bring out the detail in all that smoke. Then of course you're gonna wanna click the erase. I'm gonna zoom in here and just get that off of our model's face and off the flower crown as well. Bring back all that detail in her face, arms, shoulders. Perfect. Let's zoom out. Turn that adjustment brush off, turn it back on. Wow, it makes a huge difference. And of course, that was just something real quick there. You'd want to spend a lot more time on the detail there. But there we have it. Let's take a look at where we started with the image. Here's the raw file straight out of camera. And bam, look at where we brought it. Oh, it looks so good. I love how vibrant and just punchy and just epic this looks. And if you liked where we brought this image, make sure to hit the like button down below. Leave a comment, tell me what you think. And if you're new, it'd be awesome if you subscribed. Well, I'm James Young with James Young Photography, and this is Teach Me How to Lightroom.